Hello guys, how you doing? Well, today I'm gonna show you how to make this Atlas woman manipulation. This is gonna be your end result, or it's gonna be a little bit better. So let's begin. Open a new file and make the size 2000 by 2194. Click OK. Fill that with black by pressing Alt backspace. Now we wanna bring the first image, and the first image is gonna be this woman right here, but we're going to extract the woman, or we're going to remove this ball. So to do that, let's go get the pen tool and just make the paths around the ball to delete it. So after you're done with your paths, go to make selection, OK, and just press delete and Control D to deselect. So now let's move this image to the black layer. Let's resize the image and put it like this, like this big. Press OK. Let's bring the other image that is gonna be the planet, and move it below the woman. Let's name this planet, and let's name the woman layer woman, or Atlas, is the same, doesn't matter. So now let's move the planet a little bit to make it more natural. So now if you can see, this hand is not so natural like it's holding the planet, so we're gonna make this hand, we're gonna transform the hand to look like it's carrying the planet and not just like this. So with the woman layer selected, go to edit, puppet wrap, and we're gonna make some points to the body of the woman. Just click here to make some points. What those points does is to keep the woman stable and not move when we move some of the points. Let's make 1 point right here, make 1 point right here. And what I mean by keep the woman stable when moving 1 point on or some points is this. So we're gonna move this hand, make 1 point right there, and click and just move the hand. And that's what I meant. It doesn't move the whole body or the whole hand, it just moves this wrist. So something like that. Hold this and move it like that. Let's remove this and let's move this again. Let's remove this. I'm removing these points by holding Alt and click it on top of it. There you go. And let's move this like that. I think it looks better. Now press OK. So if you see the difference, this is what we have done so far, and the image before it was this one. So you see the difference, and of course this one looks better than this one. So yeah, you can do a better job, but that's the point. Now go back to the woman layer and add a mask. We're gonna erase this hand right here because that doesn't look good. Get a brush tool with black foreground, 100% opacity, and we're going to delete this hand. Let's brush over the hair to delete those white edges. Now we're gonna go to this icon and we're gonna add some adjustment, and we're going to use the vibrance. We're gonna put the vibrance to -13. Okay, so we want this adjustment just to make effect on the woman, so we're gonna clip that layer, hold Alt and click in between the layers, and you're gonna see that. So that's the difference. So now we're gonna add a new layer below the woman. So press on the woman layer and hold Control and click on new layer to add the new layer below the woman layer. Let's name this shadows. And we're gonna make some shadows here on this part. So let's lower the opacity to around 50. Yeah, 50. And just brush these areas. Brush this. Something like that. So now go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and make the shadows a little blurry. Just put 10 and okay. So now we're gonna add a new layer on top of all the layers, and we're gonna name this layer clouds. We're gonna get a cloud brush. Let me see if I have one. Yes. We're gonna choose the white color, and we're gonna brush opacity 100, and we're gonna brush this right here. Change the brush. Let me see this one. Yeah, why not? and just brush something like that, and like that. So after we have that, we're going to bring the next image that is gonna be this chain. So just drag it, and we're gonna put it something right here, make the chains bigger until is something like that. And we're gonna duplicate this layer, but first let's name this layer chain right chain, right chain. Duplicate the right chain, Control J, and let's name this left chain. Press Control T to move this to the other side. By press right click and flip horizontal and move it to the other side. Press OK. So we're gonna go back to the right chain, add a new layer below, so press Control and click on the new layer icon, and we're gonna hold Control and click on the right chain thumbnail to make that selection, and we're gonna press Alt and backspace to fill that selection with black. First make sure you have the foreground on black, and press Alt backspace to make that selection. Press Ctrl D to deselect, and we're gonna transform the selection. So right click and choose a wrap. Now hold this middle left square and drag the chains something like that. Like that. Click OK. And we're gonna do the same with the other chain. So press Ctrl J to duplicate that layer, Ctrl T to transform, right click, flip horizontal, and move this to here. There you go. Let's move this layer 1 up in between left chain and right chain. Let's name this left chain shadow, and the other one right chain shadow. Right chain shadow. Now we're gonna make these shadows a little bit blurry. So go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and let's go to around around 8. Go to the left chain shadow and just click filter and click on this Gaussian blur, and it's gonna add the same number to this layer. So now go to click the right chain shadow, control and right click the layer to have these two selected. Go to opacity and lower the opacity around 35, around 35. Now go on top of the left chain, add a new layer, fill this layer with gray, 50% gray. Go to edit, fill, 50% gray, okay, blend mode to soft light, and we're gonna name this layer burn and dodge, and we're gonna choose the burn tool, midtones and 50% exposure, and we're gonna burn some parts of the image. We're gonna burn right here, this part of the chain, the hair a little bit, here on the hand, or on this bright side of the hand, or this, I don't know how you call this part of the hand. We're gonna make that a little bit darker, so we want to make this darker. So go to here and choose highlight, and we're gonna burn these highlights a little bit. So now go to midtones again and keep burning some parts that you think needs to be burned. Like right here on the planet area, right here, just to make this a little bit darker. A little bit, I don't want to be too dark or too burned. So now we're gonna go back to our woman layer, click here, and we're gonna add a gradient map. So go to this adjustment icon, gradient map, black to white, the blend mode, hard light, and we're going to burn, select the mask, this icon right here, this thumbnail, go to brush, and we're going to mask the face because we don't want that part to be too dark. Change the opacity around 50, and just let's mask this area right here. Yeah, that's the difference. So now we're gonna go back to the planet layer and we're gonna add some adjustments. Let's add a gradient map, black to white, blend mode to soft light, and opacity around 60. Now let's make a selection to the planet, make a new layer, fill this selection with black, and change the blend mode to highlight. Add a mask layer and choose the brush with 10% opacity, and we're gonna delete something like this. Something like that. So after you brush this planet with 10% opacity, you're gonna need to have the result something like this. Now we need to add more chains, so go bring the other chains and we're going to make this horizontal. No, rotate 90%, put it something like that, make it smaller, and choose the wrap, and we want this to be something like this. Just get this like that and this like that. And click OK. Now let's go back to this again, to this layer, to these chains, and let's go do the same to the other side. Control T to transform, flip, rotate 90%, and let's do the same. Choose wrap, make this a little bending, I'm sorry for not telling what I did right there, but I was doing something. My mic didn't work. So what I did was select the upper chain and transform it, and then select the lower two chains and just transform a little bit. So now we're gonna make these chains, these two chains, I'm gonna drag them to here, between burn dash layer and left chain, and we're gonna add a mask layer to the layer 3, or let's name this as small chains. In the upper, small chains 2. So let's go to small chains, and this is the right. So let's burn these parts. Change the opacity to 100 and just delete this. And let's delete right here on the clouds. and I'm gonna change the opacity to 50%, and I'm gonna make this something like that. One more like that. Now I'm going to the upper one, that is the left chains, add a mask layer, and I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna erase this part, and I'm going to delete this part right here, this one right here, and this one as well. 50%, remember, change the 50%, and like that. Bring this change a little bit more, and just leave it like that. Make that look, so that make us think that the chains are behind the clouds, so it's on the other side, on the back side of the woman, and it's gonna look a little bit better. Now go back to here, burn and dodge layer. We're gonna add a gradient map, black to white, blend mode to overlay, and opacity around 25. So I'm gonna brush this area, so choose the mask, and with 25% I'm gonna brush with black here to make the woman a little visible. I don't want it too dark. So now let's go to the upper layer, and we're gonna make a new layer with all these layers together. So we're gonna merge them in a new layer. Press and hold Control, Shift, Alt, and E. So we have all these layers into one. Now go to Filter, Other, High Pass, and choose 5 pixels. Click OK, and the blend mode to soft light. Now make a mask layer, choose the brush 100%, and we're going to mask this part right here. Just once mask this. Now we're gonna add a color balance. Go to this adjustments icon, color balance. On midtones we're gonna put -7, 7, and -11. On shadows, 7, -5, -7. On highlights, 0, 0, and 42. And I think we're done. Just we need to make some adjustments, because I didn't like the brightness on here, so I'm gonna go to this layer where we had the black selection, and add a new layer, and I'm going to brush this area with black and 20%, 21. Yes, something like this. I'm gonna go to the planet, add a mask, and I'm gonna delete the edges to make it dark. I'm gonna bring back a little right here. Something like that. Well, that's it, guys. I think it looks good, and I hope you like the end results. If you like it, just do what you have to do. Comment, like this video, share this video, subscribe for more, cause it's gonna be more tutorials, better tutorials, bad tutorials from all kind. And see you next time. Hope you like it. Thank you, guys. Check out my page if you haven't, and check out my other tutorials. You're gonna find some good effects, some good manipulations, and you're gonna get some ideas on everything. Once again, thank you, and have a happy new year, and see you next year, guys.